Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. Do you want the life of your dreams? Do you want the life that you truly want? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you a few practicals as well as a piece of truth that will help you, I believe, in this endeavor. Before we continue, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a neuroscientist, and this video is simply for entertainment purposes. First, just a little bit of background on neuroscience. Dr. Donald Hebb was a Canadian psychologist, and he had a theory that every experience a person encounters, every thought a person has a neurological imprint in our mind. And then every time a thought is repeated, the connection between those corresponding neurons is strengthened. And that is actually changing the brain. And he had a saying that cells that fire together wired together. So every time you think a thought, it becomes easier to think that same thought again. So the more you think that thought, it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. So a repetition of thoughts becomes a neurological habitual pathway in your mind. In other words, we become what we think about. And because of that, your mind, your thoughts can be your best friend or your worst enemy. But the really cool and inspiring thing is that we actually have the freedom and we have the power to decide which direction we want our thoughts to go. We can decide what thoughts we have, and we can essentially decide what type of life we want to have. So understand that the statement that we can decide what life we want to have can seem a bit lofty, maybe a bit ambitious, and maybe a bit of a stretch, but let me try and explain. We all have thoughts, and with every thought comes emotion, and usually based on our emotions, we act, and when we act on the emotion over and over again, that becomes a habit, and then our habit becomes our character, and our character becomes our destiny or our life. So think about it. Are you aware of the habitual thoughts that continually replay in your mind? Is your mind filled with negativity, criticism, complaints? Or is your mind filled with positivity, gratitude, compassion, joy, peace? You know from personal experience that it's hard, but we can actually choose what we want to focus on. Just to give you a personal example, so I live in a place that to many people is beautiful, and to some people may not be the favorite type of landscape. Okay, it's close to the beach, but I personally prefer mountains, woods, lots of greenery. And there was a time when I lived in this area that I had a lot of negative thoughts. The traffic bothered me. There was no hills that bothered me. Not really any places I can go ride my bike. I continually kept thinking about those things that bothered me. Fast forward a couple years, I'm in the same area, but I believe that I have had a conscious change, and these days I'm working on what I want to focus on, and now I actually enjoy living in this place, and the thought of moving is not so appealing anymore. I like to say that I'm in the same place, and just because I shifted my focus, I'm finding more joy and more peace and more gratitude in my own personal life. And you could also argue that our life is just based on our perception. Like, what is really the good life? Can you decide what the good life is by choosing what to focus on? I'm gonna let you be the judge of that, but I do want to give you 3 quick practicals that I have found very helpful when it comes to redirecting your mind to thinking of things that is helping you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the first thing is to have a gratitude journal. Write down things you are grateful for. And some mornings, some evenings, it may be difficult to find some things you're grateful for, but look for it. Maybe it's the fact that you're alive. Maybe it's the fact that you have family and friends that love you. But to find things that you're grateful for and write them down and make it a habit. And over time, hopefully it becomes a part of your recurring thought system. And number 2, this one I learned from Tony Robbins, and that is to trade your expectations for appreciation. And once you focus on what you appreciate, you are going to feel better rather than being discouraged, disgruntled, disappointed, that your expectations were not being met. So again, trade your expectations with appreciation. And the last thing is to become consciously aware of your thoughts. As you go about your day, instead of going about your day mindlessly, choose to work on becoming consciously aware of what's going in your mind and the thoughts you're thinking. And every time you notice that you're going down a negative trail, a trail that leads to a place you don't want to go, try to, as quickly as you can, to switch it, to flip those negative thoughts with something positive, something that you appreciate. So maybe there's something from your gratitude journal, a quote, maybe it's a scripture, just a truth that you rather want to be implanted in your mind. And then over time, you're going to have a new neurological connection. You're going to have those negative neurons that wire together. You're going to have positive neurons that wire together. So hopefully those 3 practicals will be helpful as you try to shift what's going on in your mind. With that shift, you actually become one step closer towards the life that you want, because you already have it in your mind. And what I believe is that when your mind, or call it your soul, or call it your spirit, or call it the bottom of your core, like your core beliefs, is filled with good things, I believe this will spill over into your character, into your life. And it's going to be apparent to others that you are enjoying life, grateful for life. And this radiance that you're going to have, I believe is going to help your life, where you want it to go, as well as the people that you interact with. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. Take care. Stay beautiful. Hope to see you next time.